Hello, Ekrem. It's good to see you. Thank you very much for being here, for supporting us, for giving our students this great opportunity. Today, we will have a chat with you about different topics concerning your life story, about what important hints and tips you can give the students for their careers, maybe. Yeah, we were really curious to hear what you are doing in your life, what brought you where you are, and therefore this would lead me to our first question today, which is basically for sure, what is your life story?
Whoa, very philosophical question. To recap my life. Yeah, what's my life story? Yeah, born and raised in Germany, in West Germany, very close to Netherlands. It's just 2.5 hours to Amsterdam. It's 6 hours to Paris. It's 5 hours to Berlin, 2 hours to Hamburg, right? So, I mean, a very nice spot in the west of Germany, but it's a mining area. So my father came over from Turkey to Germany as a mining worker. And yeah, and then I'm part of the family, four siblings, and grew up in this area. So and I never go out of this during my childhood, right? So very regular primary and secondary school education. After grade 10, I dropped off school and started to learn a job. It was the time in 1999 where Germany were looking for IT experts and people from India, from Philippines, from Europe. They came over to Germany because there was a huge demand. And back then, the regional councils, they made kind of a profession, which is a 3 years of education, a vocational education, Ausbildung in German, which is very similar to a study, but it's not like an official study. So I did this 3 years of education to an IT expert. So I mean, it's very comparable to a computer scientist, and started at the Ministry of Environment in a public sector in the IT management. Yeah, and then my first project was to migrate Windows 95 version to Windows 98. I was, showing people how to write an email, how to print. So it was the very early beginning of the digitalization. And yeah, this was my first job actually. Besides, I was doing a lot of street work. So I'm a very passionate about music and dance. So I was helping kids on the streets to really get it touched into arts and teamwork. And in my city here, I did a youth project where did rap music and dance movies and such kind of things, which was also quite a big fun. Yeah, this was more or less my first teenage and plus job and the professional experience. And then this goes on and on, right? So this is maybe before I jump into my professional career, maybe in a nutshell. I feel like a multinational, having two hearts, the German and the Turkish one. In the meanwhile, I have my own family. I'm 39 years old, but I have three kids, and the oldest is turning 18 soon. So started quite early with family building as well. So yeah, that's my short life story actually.
Interesting. And you said you were involved in some street work projects and stuff. I was curious how old you were at this point.
I was 22, actually 22 years old. Yeah. So it was. I started quite early in my teenage, but more like hanging around with my friends and trying to help here and there. Just as a civilian more or less, right? Nothing special. But after a while, we thought, hey, let's make it kind of professional, more structured. Let's make a project out of this. And we started with a small group. And one day we were in a local newspaper with our dance performance in a small festival, city festival here. And my neighbor came across this news article, and she was the head of the employment agency of my city council. And she was like, hey, what are you doing with this young kids and people? I thought, yeah, we're doing, dance and music, and say, hey, let's make a project, because I have a lot of people in the employment agency who are jobless and they have no perspective, no motivation. So can we do something together? And I said, of course, yes, we could. And she managed to get a huge funding for us. It was back then for us, tremendous. It was €250,000 to 50K, where we were able to hire, professional staff, psychologists, trainers. We rent a huge dance studio, and we were able to buy equipment and so on. And then suddenly we were a team of 15 people, and did really a big project out of this. And still today, our movie is on YouTube. We were in a local cinemas here as well. It's called VJ Style. It tells a story about a guy who would like to be a VJ, a video jockey, right? So a moderator. And then he came across other young people, and then the story continues. So yeah, that's maybe the story to my street work, actually.
Interesting. So then your professional, let's say professional career started. How did that go?
Yeah, very boring at the beginning, right? So Ministry of Environment, right? What you are expecting? It's a very safe job. It's very relaxed, no time pressure, no profitability ambitions, nothing, right? So it was quite cool at the beginning to learn and grow. But after 2 years, it was so boring that I started my first startup back then. With the age of 24, 25 years, I took my friend, Adrian, who's also still the co-founder for my new company at the moment. The story continued there as well. So, and we did a web agency, very simple. We did, business cards, websites, flyers, and those kind of things for medical practitioners, for lawyers, for small bakeries and those kind of small enterprises. It was a good pocket money for us, right? We earned really good money, and really also considered to make a main job out of this. And but then also in parallel, my job at the ministry continued, and the Ministry of Environment was a big customer of Microsoft. So, and I was interacting with the account manager of Microsoft all the time. And one day he said, Hemi, you are so young and ambitious, and you are not fitting into this public sector, right? So why you not consider to come into the corporate world of, for example, Microsoft? And by the way, I'm moving on and my job will be vacant, so I can recommend you. I said, wow, oh, the dream comes true. So I'm changing sides. So I went to the interview. It was tremendous. It was very successful. The hiring manager liked me a lot. It was always a done deal. I was informing my whole family and friends. My uncle from Turkey called me up. I heard you with Microsoft. I said, not yet, but almost. Yeah, and 2 weeks later, I got the rejection.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. So, and the reason, yeah, very simple reason. Sorry?
I said, Roger, not either. He's smiling. I was expecting that.
Everyone was expecting a happy end, right? Yeah, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't. So, the hiring manager was said, "Hey, you're so young talent. I really like you, but I have another guy here, 15 years experience with Oracle, running the public sector. So I need to go with him, right? Sorry to say, it was, a very down time in my life back then. Very disappointed. And of course, you may know where I'm working right now, right? So it turned out to be a happy end after 16 years later. But the idea originated, hey, I need to go out here, right? So I need to leave my comfort zone. And this is maybe my first advice to all of you in the call here. Once you feel not only boring, but once you feel you are not challenged enough, you are not, passionate enough, right? Don't took it too long, right? So give it a chance, saying maybe it's me, maybe it's my private life and issues, maybe the job is great, but I'm just looking bad on it, right? Not immediately run away, but if you have the feeling after a while, this is not you, just I mean, continue, go ahead, right? So, and this was for me the phase where I said, okay, it failed my Microsoft dream, but the idea originated to say I need to move on. So, and then I got a chance to join Business Objects, which was a big data company back then. I joined them. Very funny. They looked into my CV. I mean, you have no university degree, you have no sales experience, you are working with the public sector, right? And you would like to join Business Objects, one of the fastest growing tech companies. I said, yes, I want. And I was really bold and said, hey, yeah, I'm a risk for you. I know, right? But no risk, no fun, man. I mean, give me the chance and I will prove. And if not, you can fire me after 3 months. No bad feelings. And this confident, I mean, said, hey, come on, we give you a chance, right? And I took the chance. Of course, after 3 months, my team lead left and I jumped up a ladder. 3 months later, I was watching, literally, this is one of the moments in my life. I was watching the Tagesschau, which is the very famous news channel and news program in the German public television. And then suddenly the news, the German software provider SAP announced today the acquisition of Business Objects. And I was like, what? So suddenly we were acquired by SAP. And I was overnight part of SAP. And by the way, in SAP, I applied so many times. Again, no university degree. And I know, and I last time I told to my kids as well. So I'm telling stories a little bit in advance, but in the meanwhile, I did my master, my MBA, just 3 years ago. But back then, I was applying for SAP, for HP, for IBM, and it was online. So and then of course you need to give your profile, and I was typing in all my data, and then the drop-down box, your highest degree, right? Doctor, PhD, master, MBA, bachelor. And I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and there were not vocational training, it was others, right? And I always clicked on others, and this moment I said, you have no chance, right? So, but still I applied, and of course, all the time I got rejected. And I mean, through this business object acquisition, I was then at SAP. I mean, fast forward 16 years forward, when I'm now typing in these kind of I mean job portals, right? It's the second after PhD, MBA, and it's really a proud moment to see this. That I mean, years back I was not able to click this MBA button over there, but now I have it, right? So and yeah, and then I was with SAP, big corporate. It was great. It was fun. And I told this story many times, but after 1.5 years, it was like I have multiple personalities, right? So SAP, very well known in Germany and Europe, biggest European software company. Wow, Ekrem, our hero, the best in the family. No one is working for SAP, and I was sitting in a lounge in a stadium and sponsors everywhere, TV advertising. So people were really adoring me, right? It was great feeling, of course, right? But when I jump into the office, shit, again, politics and corporate and processes and big company, no flexibility, no agility. So I really had these two hats all the time. And also this, I mean, was not able to continue. And I said, hey, I mean, this is not me here, right? It is too big, it is too processed. And I have so many ideas, I have so much energy. I need to move on, right? And move on means not to another corporate like IBM or Oracle, to a startup, to a smaller setup, right? More in a, I mean, family environment, more in a friendship environment. So, and I continued to Artplan, which is a software provider for analytics and big data solutions, one of the closest partner for SAP. So it was a cool match. I joined them as a regular sales rep, responsible for West Germany. After 6 months, I was responsible for West and North Germany. After 2 years, I was responsible for whole Germany. After 4 years, I was responsible for whole Europe, right? So, and this was my place, right? So it was a small setup. I was always under the radar, right? So everyone was observing, and this, I mean, small pressure, I mean, led to a high performance. So I really performed very well. And built the whole European sales over there, being one of the most successful sales reps. And then after 6 years, I also, no, it was, 6 years. I said, next chapter can come. And I went to our CEO, and this is also the beauty of this smaller setup, right? And I went to the CEO over lunch and said, hey, Roland, I need to move on. Sorry to say, but I'm done here. I did everything. I mean, look at the history, track record. I said, yeah, but no, please, no, you're our best horse. No, we can't, and so on and so forth. Just said, give me a 1 week, and I come up with something. And after a week, he came with a nice offer, saying, hey, I mean, you did a great job here in Europe. You built our whole sales operations. How would you think about to do the same, but for Asia? I said, what? What do you mean? Yeah, we're gonna send you to Singapore to lead our and build and lead our office for APAC, right? I said, Singapore, what? I was just hearing about Singapore in the news and the papers, but never been there, right? So I was like, it's a bad, you're a problem, you want to leave the company, so go far away, and then the problem is solved. No, but they were serious, and then this opportunity came. This would never ever came in a big corporate, right? Because you would never ever have the chance out of 60, 80,000 people to get the chance to go just as an expert overseas. Yeah, then I moved on with my whole family to Singapore. I was going into the one-man office by myself. I went to DBS and OCBC Bank and opened up bank accounts for the company. Oh, how many employees do you have? It's only me. Oh, okay, good luck. But yeah, after 18 months, we were 15 people, right? So we hired almost one FTE per month. It was a huge success. Then I moved on in Singapore to another company called DataVart, which is also in the SAP analytics environment. Set up again another company in Singapore, replicated the same success over there as well. And then finally, I landed here at Microsoft, and and here I am.
Wow. This was quite a long story and a lot of work, I guess. First of all, congratulations for your success in this sense. So, what I guess is really, really interesting for everyone here right now is what would you say were the main and most striking skills that were important throughout your whole career? I mean, for sure you knew how to code, right? You were a software developer as far as I mean, you learned it basically.
Yeah.
But what, personal skills, maybe soft skills, what for sure hard skills were important for you, and would you say is important for everyone in everyone's career, no matter what career they are following, basically?
Yeah, this is of course a very personal question because everyone has a personality, right? So of course, when I give you this skill, this soft skill I'm mastering, you might not be the type of those person, right? Maybe you are introvert, maybe you are a shy person, or you have a totally different background. But I think the ultimate skill was always empathy, right? So empathy and at the same time thankfulness to what you achieved, right? So always this reflection. I mean, where we are right now, where I'm standing here. So I mean, I have no issues, no health issues, no financial issues, and so still being thankful. Even in the bad times, I was thankful. I was working as a waiter for a long time, right? So I was, delivering newspapers for a long time when I had financial issues, but still being thankful in that regards. It's very critical for me personally, which has also had something to do with my religion and my spiritual side. But in job, empathy was my killer skill, because always putting your shoes into the other side, always trying to understand the dynamics, what's going on in my customer, in my geography, what's the product, what are the competitors, right? Always to try to understand the other side, because once you understand the other side, you automatically readjust yourself anyhow, right? So you can learn whatever you want, soft skill or hard skill. It needs to be the right time and the right spot and the right person where you apply these skills. And also the doses is very important, right? So you may talk to a very tech heavy person or to a more business heavy person. So having this empathy, and this is then a mindset where I'm always, when I'm even here, I try to follow the impressions of your faces in order to see, hey, Luca is laughing, Roger is thinking, Lutong is looking very curious, right? So trying to always react into those, because no point, if I have the feeling you're totally bored or not with me, to still continue telling something, right? So no point, readjust. Hey, Luca, I mean, any issues? You're with me or whatever. So, and this brought me really far, because then you are totally humble, you're totally down to earth, you always want to understand the other side and the situation in which you're following the people's emotions and the personalities and adjusting yourself. And this was mainly the most critical thing, which everyone can really also do and replicate, I guess.
Also, I guess if you are developing a new product or something, you need to understand the other side. So what your in which situation your customer is, for example, to make it fit. So it also might be type of this empathy.
The why, I mean, my tip to you is at least ask 3 times in a row the why. Right? So, Luca, how are you today? Yeah, I'm fine. Really? Yeah, today I'm okay. Really? Yeah, you know what? I have a bad day, right? 3 times. I mean, believe me, then the people will tell you the truth. I have my product developers, right? Tasso was developing a nice feature. I was like, Tasso, for what this feature is for? Oh, yeah, you can do this and this. Why? Yeah, because then you can optimize this and you don't need to do this and this. Yeah, and so, yeah, I developed this in coding, and then he goes into detail. So my point was, which customer asked for this functionality and feature? Yeah. So what's the business benefit for me at the end user, right? So how does it help me? Did you ever thought about, no, it's on our roadmap. It's part of our solution. It's part of our product. Yeah, but please question this, right? So always, again, put yourself into the end user, for instance, and while you're coding, and you will see that suddenly everything will get a purpose and the meaning, right? Because once you're questioning everything, I mean, imagine as a child, we were always like, oh, Dad, why is this? And why? And why is this, that? Why? So we always ask the why throughout the whole childhood. And suddenly in school, asking the why question was a sign of, I mean, incompetency, right? Never ever ask a question because this shows you have no clue. Sorry, not the case. Ask me, of course, not bothering people why, right? I mean, you need to find a good balance in this, but I think this is a key criteria I would really ask you to try to apply here. Always understanding while you're coding, while you're developing, while you're thinking, ideating, always. So what reason? What's the purpose behind?
So asking questions is quite a good keyword, I would say, because I don't want to be the only one who is asking questions today. I'm sure some of you guys have brought some questions that are really interesting for you personally, or for everyone for sure here. So I would like to give you the lead. Whoever wants to go ahead, please unmute yourself and ask Ekrem. He's ready for you. So Roger, you unmuted yourself. I guess you want to talk.
Yeah, I may ask. Yeah, I just wanna make a comment on something you have said, like empathy. I think empathy goes with design. You can be a great designer without having empathy with users, because you are not going to solve the problems if you don't empathize with the users, right? So
Absolutely.
are you the fan of like being lenient what you accept and being straight to what you put out?
I think this is more a comment, right? So that you're confirming that empathy is really important. The person on the other side, right?
You feel the pain of others and give them a better way. Is that right?
Absolutely, and it end up your pain is my pain, right? So, and then you are really passionate about to solve this, right? To end this pain, and you are thinking like the other side, you're acting like the other side, and you are kind of, I mean, solving the problem like it is your problem. And this is, I think, the next step, the next evolution. If you are going around through the world with empathy, you will touch into the different roles, right? And you will, I mean, feel and live like those personalities, and suddenly understand the world even better, right? So I think this is very key.
I now prepared a question for Ekrem because, as you said, you are based on the one hand in the corporate world, but with another foot, you're in the world of entrepreneurship, right? So my question would be, what do you think personally? What would you prefer on the one hand? I mean, you said you are more into the corporate world, into the entrepreneurship world, maybe because you might be your own boss, but maybe you could comment on this one. And furthermore, I wanted to ask what it takes to be an entrepreneur, what skills are important, what kind of person you need to be. So, so what would you say? How does someone know that he or she is suitable for being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, a very, very good question. So, and maybe starting with my passion for entrepreneurship. So, and you're referring to GDEXA, the Global Digital Excellence Association, which I set up 2 years ago with two other co-founders. One is Elaine in Singapore, and the other one is Adrian. I mean, set up my first startup 18 years ago, the web agency. So, and reason being is not, I mean, don't do startup entrepreneurship just for the sake of entrepreneurship or just because it's cool, just because you're expecting liberty and freedom and you will have the CEO title or whatever, right? So never ever. Let it flow, right? Let it flow in terms of, again, if you feel something needs to happen, so draw your options, right? As I did, my option would be move on to another company, moving on to a startup, moving on to the corporate, going out to an overseas country. So, and also check whether your own company is one of the options. So are you bold enough to run this? And it's ultimately also coming to the point where are you want to solve your own problem, be it financial, be it career, be it you want to build a family, you need to save income or whatever, or do you want to solve a real world problem, right? This purpose-driven employment, more or less, right? So I'm working at Microsoft, one of the best companies in the world, right? So it's my dream came true, and I'm really on a really right place. But to be honest, what's the purpose of Microsoft? We are a listed company on the New York Stock Exchange, and ultimately everyone at Microsoft is trying to increase the value of our stock price, so being successful. Of course, we are giving back a lot of our profits into charities and needy people. That's why I love this culture. But ultimately, we can only do this as long as we are profitable. So that's more or less when it comes down to my purpose at Microsoft is making a US company more valuable. This can be a life goal, right? Saying, hey, I'm fine with this because I have family, I have house, I have this and that. But not for me. So I would like to give something back to society, and I would love to have another purpose in my life, right? And that's why I said, okay, yeah.
One comment, what you just said. So you are at Microsoft, you are not solving world problems or problems which are present in the real world, but problems for a US company, which a US company has, right? So
yeah, I mean, yeah, partially true, Luca, because of course, we are using real world problems. We are empowering every company and organization in the world to achieve more. I mean, those companies are saving the environment. Those companies are doing something against hunger and so on. But we are doing it in rewards of money, right? So we will get paid for it, right? We have a technology which is enabling a lot of people. We are doing great stuff in education. We are doing great stuff in healthcare. Our technology is saving lives, but we are not giving it for free, right? So this technology is being bought and we are selling it to hospitals, to governments, and so on. Of course, sometimes incentivized for a certain degree, but at the end of the day, it's a profit. It's not a charity. So that's why I'm saying, I mean, yeah, there is a purpose behind, but it's a profitable purpose at the end of the day. Versus, of course, building a startup, it's end up also to a profit, but I can choose the area. So I choose education for my startup. So we are providing a free mentorship. So that's why my request to you guys, gdexa.com, sign up for a global mentorship. So we have over 100 VP and C-level mentors just waiting to mentor young people like you, right? So we are providing a free mentorship, a one-to-one session with mentees all around the world. We have around 800 mentees on our platform, also from Africa, a lot, right? So you can just sign up and you will get a free mentorship, which is my giving back to the society in terms of, hey, we have so many experienced people. So then after a while, we thought about, hey, I mean, this can be also profitable. So if we can move on in terms of upskilling and training, and if we are tackling universities and corporates, they would like to pay us for the services. So why not? We are combining our purpose, our charity, our social mindset with the commercial one. And this also a dream came true in terms of we really established GDEXA as association where the mentorship is running completely for free, non-profit. And we have a digital labs, which is providing upskilling projects like hackathons, like future classes, master classes, and so on. And this is paid content because it's high quality. So, and here you are. So I'm doing education, upskilling, and so on with a purpose. And that was my driving factor, why I went into entrepreneurship, because there's no other company out there who's providing this. Otherwise, I would join the company. But so that's why I said, okay, there's a problem, there's a demand. Let me solve this real world problem and set up my own company. And once you have this mindset, this problem solving, then you identify pain points and you identify the market and you identify investment and you identify and you can convince employers, right? And here you are an entrepreneur, not by learning or going into the classroom, by doing, because entrepreneurship is something you can only learn just by doing, not like listening TEDx talks or whatever, right? So that's why if you have a problem in mind you're faced, and if you think it can't be solved anyway, then go the way, set up your own company on a site, do your evaluation, set up your website, make your research, and start with baby step your own gig. And once you see, hey, wow, this is going big, focus completely on that. That's at least my plan.
Interesting, very interesting. But when you started your company, you said it was completely non-profit. How did you finance it? I mean, you need, I guess these are online mentorships, so you need server cost, right? You need technical equipment. Eventually some of those mentors want to be paid. I don't know. I don't think so, but so how did you do this? Did you pay it from your own pocket without, return?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, come on, we are living in a digital world, right? So how much is that? So I'm setting up a website and hosting a website, right? So and Adrian, my co-founder, he's a web designer. He was able to design and run the whole website by himself. So we have no offices, right? So yeah, there's maybe a couple of thousands, right? Let's say 3, 4, 5,000 euros out of my pocket. Yeah, but it's I mean reasonable, right? So it's not a big that I'm opening a supermarket, right? Or I have a machine or factory or type of things, right? It's just digital. It's a virtual world. So that's why, I mean, of course, you need to mitigate the risk in terms of, okay, that's why I'm saying start with the baby steps first, right? Test the market first. I mean, talk to people. Don't hide your idea. This is also the biggest mistakes all entrepreneurs are doing. Oh, I have an idea. I never ever tell anyone because they can steal my idea. No, they can't, because you're always one step ahead. It's your idea. You invent it first. You think about it and you are ahead. Of course, if you are sleeping, if you are, I mean, telling the world how unique your idea is and you're doing nothing for this, no wonder that others will steal it and will make it done. So my recommendation, if you have an idea, go and find sparrings partner. Talk to this to them, and I say, I have an idea. What do you think? I would do this. What do you think? And then shape it. I mean, fine tune it, and wait for this big bang day where you say, hey, now it's the time to move on, and then you will be prepared. You will have the foundation. Won't invest too much, but at least you tried. And you may try really fast, and you may also fail really fast, but try again, because how likely is it that you fail a second time in a row? If you fail a second time, go ahead. How likely is it that you fail a third time in a row, right? So the likeliness, I mean, is going down tremendously after the first failure. So, and this would be my advice to you. If you have an idea, if you see a problem, go and solve it.
Very interesting. So we do have a couple of people here who have an idea, to be honest. Roger, you're smiling. You're one of them. You can imagine. I guess, Roger, for example, what is now the challenge for you to just go out and get this idea done? What challenge, for example, are you in your special situation? I mean, you live in Rwanda, for example, for sure have limited resources as you're a student. What is your main challenge? What would you say? Maybe Ekrem can comment on that and give you a tip.
Yeah. First of all, before I answer those questions, I would like to ask him about what he thought about resiliency.
This is what I meant. I mean, it's a huge buzzword these times, resilience. I mean, also the pandemic, I mean, is asking us a lot of resilience. You see, this is you can't learn resiliency, right? You just need to live. And again, this comes again down to how ambitious and how passionate you are about your idea. So since 2 years, I have minimum 16 hours working days. 16 hours for a time of 2 years now. But I'm passionate, I'm energized, I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm doing it, I love it, right? So I'm resilient because I love it, because I believe in that. So resilience, start to be shaky if you are not sure, if you're not happy, if you're, I don't know. And this is then the alert, right? You need to change something. And that's why, I mean, resiliency comes automatically and within, as long as you're doing those things where you are passionate about. And imagine you solve a problem, and imagine your school times, if you have a mathematical problem to solve, right? Oh, I mean, how ambitious, and you were asking and trying and watching and looking. So there's this curiosity. Once you have identified the problem, you will go after, right? Until you solve it, or until you notice, oh, there are 10 other competitors who are on it. Nice try, but I'm too late, maybe. Not an issue. Try the next one. You will find a topic. And again, if you're emphatic, then you will, I mean, walk around the world with your eyes open, and not with your eyes open, also with your heart open, and you will see problems. There are a lot of unsolved problems out there, and you will go after it, and you can solve it. I think there's a lot of problems to be solved, and if you are not solving it in the first attempt, be resilient, be patient. I mean, don't give up, and go after the next one.
I want to answer the question Luca did ask me about the difficulties I did made. It has a lot to do with myself rather than going to find, solution outside. So because the first mistake I did, I was not sharing my ideas, right? Another thing was like I didn't have a lot of friends, who we can talk to, all a lot of connections, someone who may help us. But after that, I did share with some of my friends, small number of friends, what I'm doing, what I'm up to. And I did manage to get some deals, some schools because of that. And right now, I think I'm able to run a lot more. Like, I want to have, a rural community which I can find myself in, sharing ideas, have a fun with, not taking a work like something difficult to do. So I just want to enjoy something I'm about to do. I just want to get busy,
So how about, Roger, sorry for interrupting, how about you are sharing your idea with Ekrem? Would you be ready to do that?
Okay. So right now, I did tell you that I have some new product here I'm trying to create with my friends, which was about to work with encourage all universities. Business hypothesis is like we believe 9% of talents from high school are not identified and supported, and 80% of students made it to university also face financial crisis at school. So we have other assumption of like 90% of student card contain nothing but their names and empty ID, just identification cards. So it's hard to make attendance just by calling every student using Excel sheet. No digital card can be easily replicated by an authorized person. So we trying to make a smart card more easily to every student who living in here. And as a business, you need the cash flow, so making sell it.
Just to confirm that I get it correctly, so this type of business has to do something to support students financially.
We are not nailing the solution right now, but we are still finding, other like we're still finding a way to make solution about this. So
okay, so the problem basically is there is a lot of students. You mentioned 80% of the students have a financial challenge during their studies, right? And this problems you want to solve somehow.
Is like student cards just contain nothing unless identification. Just for identification, just contain nothing. There is nothing you can do with it. So we make smart card which can do a lot of stuff. Like you can use it to buy something out of out of supermarket.
Like a loyalty card, right? So which you get from supermarkets, having a customer card, and you're going around and can get discounts more or less. Or when you go to the cinema and says I'm a student, you will get a discounted rate. So those type of cards where the students can go and
it helps to identify student talents, to hold the information about the student from high school to university. It's also, you will be able to buy things at minimum cost using our smart card, introduction to multi-purpose card to students, something like that. That's what we are trying to, to create.
It's more or less digitalization of universities. So having student identification cards designed as smart cards. So as like credit cards, which are able to do digital, let's say, identification of those students. Because Roger explained it to me, usual African students cards are not able to do that. They are just pieces of paper, basically, and they would like to digitalize this. So yeah,
it's
basically
it's awesome. Yeah, I mean it's a great idea because I mean there's a market and you can, if you think about a platform, right? So building a platform behind and using this card as a transactional piece, identification for payments or whatever, you can build a whole economy on your platform, right? So it's not only for identification, it's also for discounts, it's also for payments, it's for, I don't know, I mean, loans, it's for access into the university, into the rooms, is for checking in to some computer systems, right? So you can really use it, as you mentioned, Roger, multi-purposeful. And once you have this platform, you can really easily bring in others to your marketplace. Because imagine you manage to get 10,000 students to your platform with your card. I mean, imagine the brands who are running into you and asking you, "Hey, give me the data, give me the access to your members because I want to sell them something, right? Highly discounted or incentivized or whatever." So, I think it can be a good idea. I mean, just check whether there is, I mean, similar solutions out there, especially university sector has such things. I mean, I know my kids in Singapore, they had this school identity cards, and it was multi-purpose, not that advanced, but it was at least, right? So because with RFID, use it for many things. I think there are already certain things available from corporate and in the private sector. But I mean, if you think in Africa or in your target group, this is a demand over there and a potential, then go for it. And maybe sign up for a mentorship and we can take it offline. I even have an idea, I mean, how you could start very easily with no money, right? So, I mean, you just need to build a platform and only virtually let's sign up all the students, promising them something and gives them something, right? And then just having hundreds of students and thousands of students, then you reached a maturity where you say, okay, next step is I'm sending all my members this card because for this you need investment, you need money, right? Because to produce and distribute these cards, but bring them to your platform first with something. You need to maybe think about it, why they should sign up for, but make it like Clubhouse, for instance, like very exclusive circle of, I mean, student card members, join now, it's limited or whatever, and suddenly you will have 1,000, 2,000 members, and then you can start your startup really in full force.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I will check on that. So anything?
Maybe Ekrem, I don't know whether everyone got this right. Your mentorship program, right? Could you maybe tell our students a little bit more about it? It's GDEXA, perfect. Here, guys, you can see the link. I will definitely post it in our WhatsApp group and send you via email. But would you maybe comment a little bit more in the sense of what kind of trainers do you have? What kind of fields of expertise do you cover? Just to have a couple of more information as guys, I think this is a great opportunity for you, a really great opportunity for you, as remember what Ekrem said, everything is for free. And we had a couple of discussions in our courses as well and talked about mentorship, how important this is, even in the most specialized fields of expertise, you need mentors, and these mentors are quite heavy to find. But I think this is an extraordinary opportunity. So, Ekrem, please.
Absolutely. Do you mind if I share my screen?
No, for sure, do it. For sure.
Perfect. Because then I can quickly went you through this, right? Since it's recorded, everyone else can also check it out afterwards, right? So are you able to see my landing page?
We are. Thank you.
Perfect.
So cannot see it right now. We will post the clip, the video of this afterwards, so you can follow everything if something goes wrong.
Yeah, so I mean, as mentioned, GDEXA stands for Global Digital Excellence Association, and our claim is skills for the digital future. And yeah, we are providing mentorship, upskilling, and hiring processes for companies, right? So, and as mentioned, the Global Mentorship is completely for free. Here, you can surf throughout our mentors, right? And just to give you a feeling, right? Henner from the US, Regional Vice President, Global Director of Data Science. You may know Cloudera. He's a founder of Cloudera, which is a unicorn. We have Marilyn from Snowflake, myself. We have Stephanie, who is an entrepreneur and CEO of a startup. Mo in the area of process automation at Adidas, and so on and so forth. And you see it's all high level senior executives here who are really from various areas. I mean, I don't go through all of them now, but here you can see the skills our mentors are able to provide you. And of course, it's a lot of digital skills in the area of big data, AI, and so on, but also business innovation, career development, consulting, customer success. We have even leadership and marketing and operational excellence, right? So we have skills available here. You can just choose even your industry, if you like, right? And your region at the bottom, you can select from which area you would like to have your mentor. And as easy as it is, you just click on one mentor of your choice, then you will see a little bit more details. And of course, we're asking you to check out their background, and that's why we give here the LinkedIn profiles and so on. But here you have a short bio, and here you can easily request for mentorship. Then we will ask for a couple of questions about your ambitions, your skills, your university, and this kind of information, in order to match you with the right mentor, right? So we will see, hey, is Henner really a good match? Or you may also talk to, for example, Michael from Nigeria, who is a blockchain expert, right? Because we know all our mentors better than you, obviously. So this is the process then. Once you request for a mentorship, one of the GDEXA experts will call you. We will do a half an hour introduction and onboarding session with you. To check again, to explain you the process and everything. And then if you manage to convince us, you will get it, right? And then we immediately schedule a one-to-one call with the mentor, as easy as this is.
And Ekrem, what would you say? How are the odds? How are the odds of getting it? So, do you need to be a total expert in one field of expertise, so the requested field of expertise for sure, or is it okay if you're not this far and just want to use the opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, this we will figure out in the call, but my advice here is, as long as you're curious and committed and have really valid and relevant questions, it's worthwhile to talk with anyone, right? So there's no prerequisites. Or, of course, the more you know, but this is a general thing, right? The more you know, the higher quality are your questions, right? And the more you will get out of this. So if you think about data science or AI and you said, oh, I want to go into that, and without any readings, and you're going to the mentorship, the level of questions and the quality of questions you can imagine, right? So of course, it makes always sense to make your own homework and research. But here for this mentorship, we are just asking you for commitment, and not like, I would like to hear the story of Henner. Yeah, then please read his LinkedIn profile. Most of them have interviews and blogs and newspapers, right? Because they're really senior executives. Find his story, but read his story before and ask him during the mentorship session a very specific question about one anecdote he was telling during an interview, for instance, right? This way you will get the most out of this mentorship. So it's our advice. Be prepared, prepare your question, your area like to get, and then these mentors will be your friends. And especially Henner, it's 15 years old friend of mine. I don't want to tell you what he did for his mentees already, right? Because he has friendships with his mentees, right? So, and if you have Henner, for example, as a friend, you will have his network as your network, right? So suddenly you will increase your network in no time. And Henner is from the US, and know the people from Henner in the US as well. And if you embark on a career in the US or you're looking for internship or whatever, here, it's your go-to person. But the prerequisites here is, of course, be prepared, be committed, and make the best out of this.
Just something that might be very interesting for everyone is how long are those sessions then, and how often are they?
Mm-hmm. So we have illustrated here down how does it work, right? So and the mentorship, we have a framework, and the framework is very flexible. So we have the preparation session, then the first call is the discovery session. So you get to know to your mentor, and I mean he is telling about, I mean you're telling something about yourself, and so on and so forth. And then the first checkpoint, is it a fit, a personal fit, and also a kind of a knowledgeable fit, right? So if yes, you schedule a second call after a month, between 4 to 6 weeks. And in this call, you're defining and designing your very own unique learning path. So you will tell me, Ekrem, I want to be an AI expert. So I need to do this. I'm checking your progress. I'm giving you homeworks, and I'm coaching you literally. And then the second call, we check the progress and say, oh, it's successful or not. You have questions. Okay. A month later, a third one. So which means we are expecting 3 months and 1 session per month, and then on demand. And I mean, it really depending on the success, if it's continue or not. Based on experience, I can tell you we have mentorship stopping after the first session, but we have mentorship lasting for 2 years, right? So it's all up to you. I have even mentees who called me up and said, Ekrem, I have a negotiation next week for a new contract. I don't know how to ask for a higher salary. I mean, can you coach me a little bit, right? It's an immediate call. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, let's have a call. And I was coaching him for this negotiation, right? So it was quite funny. And he got the job and he got the pay rise. By the way, was successful. But you have also those kind of things, right? Again, if you're building a friendship out of this, then you will always the number to call whenever you need help.
Amazing. It's an amazing program, really great and that it is for free is just tremendous. I mean,
Absolutely.
I just want to congratulate for this. It's amazing to build this great network. And now I would like to give Roger the word. I think he is sitting on a hot oven right now.
Yeah. How about this? Yesterday I did check on this like website of yours, and I tried to find if I can find someone who can help me with something like cybersecurity industry, and I came scrolling down, but I don't think I have seen someone who can help me.
Roger, don't do that. Look here. I mean, Rolf from IBM, security service executive. He's a cybersecurity expert. We have Rakesh, VP Cloud Security, just to name you 2, right? So I think we have even more in the cybersecurity space in the meanwhile. But these 2 are immediately in my head. I think we have also Shane or Shalene from Palo Alto Network. Yeah, I don't know where she is, but yeah, I mean, at least we have 3 persons who are in the cybersecurity. Yeah, we have Nick. He is a VP of Global Sales for Group IB. They are doing cybersecurity only. He's a very well-known expert. Here you go. We have Shaila, Head of Cloud Security. So even the names and titles are telling you about the security background. But here you go. I mean, we have those in cybersecurity. And I can really recommend you. And even Michael Kiberu, he's also a lot in blockchain, which touches a lot of cybersecurity aspects as well. Yeah, we do have Roger.
Oh, my bad. I don't know why I need this. Second.
But that's why, just sign up next time, and also for the rest, if you have similar issues, it's not your bad. I mean, maybe we need to make it more precise, but in terms of question, just send us an email or just apply. You will get a call anyway. So and then you can express your need and your demand during the call, and then we can point you to the right persons.
How long did it take to like connect you to the right person?
Well, it's really depending on their availability. If you sign up today, I can promise you that we will get in touch with you this week. By the way, you can choose your automatically through our calendar, right? So then you choose your slot. We will give you a call. Let's say if we agree that Nick is the right person for you, then we will send immediately an email to Nick and ask for his availability. And Nick, for example, is someone, he's currently in Moscow through quarantine. As long as he's available, he will give us his free slots, and here you go. It can happen really very fast.
And I also saw when you scroll up, Ekrem, that you do have a kind of search function in the top somewhere. There were some clickable boxes where you can exactly select mentoring topics down there. I even saw just for you, Roger, I even saw cybersecurity here. So I guess if you take this one, then everyone who's available for doing this will be shown, and then there won't be any problem anymore in finding the right persons. So
here we go. I mean, cybersecurity. I just clicked on cybersecurity, and our 5 mentors are here. Yeah.
Great. Bruno, you raise your hand. I hope this is on purpose. You have a question.
Yeah, first of all, I thank Mr. Ekrem to come and inspire us in every aspect. Especially, he inspires those guys who used to use like coding or software, something like that. But for me, I've talked to Mr. Lucas some weeks ago about my career. I think he knew it, but what I want to ask is all about that platform. Is there anyone who can help someone who uses like photography? I mean, the photographers are there, or I don't know, anything like that, video stuff, photo stuff, just like that. That's my question.
Wow. No, I mean, not to my knowledge, because we didn't ask for it. I mean, and there were no requests for this. I do believe that many of them are doing it as a hobby, right? So photography, like myself, I'm totally into video recording and cutting and directing and so kind of things. But we can take this with us, Bruno. And then once again, my advice to you, sign up for this mentorship. We have Adrian, our co-founder. So everything you see here, and we have a lot of videos here as well. And just to give you one example here, we had a special mentorship program for refugees. And it's supposed to be a video here. So we have a YouTube channel. This is what I want to tell you. We have a YouTube channel where Adrian, our co-founder, is kind of, I mean, managing this YouTube of videos with animation, with, I mean, tones, and with a lot of other stuff. Just have a look into our GDEXA YouTube channel, and you will see a lot of videos here. He might be a good mentor for you, right? So maybe you can get a first conversation. He may have a lot of people in his network. This is Adrian, designer, and he's totally into photography and video. And he will maybe able to point you with the right person.
I mean, what is also important about photography is how to make money with photography. I guess only the eye for Bruno. This is especially for you. Only the eye for good pictures is one thing, and taking good pictures, but you need to bring them to any customers. So I think if you ask, for example, Ekrem about a mentor in marketing, for example, I think he can help you very much on a very different extent. I'm sure that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's good on that, but sometimes we used to share some experience, and how he started, how take the market just like that. Maybe after that, you can join someone or you can find someone who can help you to understand the market and how you can do the marketing, just like that. But first of all, sometimes it's good if someone can share you some experience, like I start like this, I moved from this level to this one, and I use this camera. After that, I just try to change some editing, some color correction, just like that. Some tips on work. But later you can try to figure out how to fight for market, how to find it, how to do the marketing of yourself, just like that. But thank you. That's also good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it takes, I mean, and again, maybe there are a lot of other mentoring platforms, by the way, right? But I think maybe we did too much advertising for JEDEXA, but the main point here is get help from experts, right? Get coaching. I didn't have the chance in my time platform. So I did and learn everything by myself. Here on LinkedIn, on JEDEXA, on any other platforms, you will have volunteered the people trying to and willing to help. So use this opportunity and ask your question, address your question, share your ideas, bounce your ideas. This was your network, because at the end of the day, this network will create to social skills, to interactive communication skills, and this is a very important soft skills which is required for the future, even more important than your hard skill. So if I'm at the hiring brand and have the opportunity to hire a person having a very good coding experience versus someone who's telling me a story how to use AI in automotive, I will always go to the storyteller, because I need someone who's convinced, because the technicality I can solve somehow, right? I can hire developers, I can go to a consultancy firm or whatever, but the soft skill, the personality, I can't find that easily. That's why, I mean, shape your profile and personality by interacting with people. If you're shy, if you're introvert, this will lead more and more to an extroverting. If you're too much extrovert, you will get your limits and know your limits. It will help in any case. So that would be my advice.
Can I ask you something about like what is like impression result you have seen from this GTA Global Mentorship Program? Like how many people are being able to go after like couple of months are being able to go to the market and maybe find a job, being productive?
Yeah, very good question, Roger. I mean, unfortunately, we are not able to track, but we're receiving great emails from our mentees from time to time saying, hey, thanks JEDEXA, I was able to get a job. Thanks JEDEXA, I was able to change my industry. I have a mentee over 1 year who was scared. I mean, he's a data scientist doing his master's at the Technical University of Munich, but he is also a very passionate athlete. I mean, playing a mix of table tennis and tennis. It's a completely new sport, which is very famous in Americas, but no one is playing it in Germany. And he said, I would like to make a startup because I have a family company. My dad is running a construction company, and my dream is to build these small courts all around Germany and make a platform where people can meet and find his partner and then can play. It's a big success in the US. I said, go for it. But I know it's a data scientist, imagine, right? So I said, hey, come on. Data scientist, it's a cool anyway. You will find a job anyway. But this opportunity you will never ever get, right? You have a construction company. Your dad gonna help you. You have the capabilities. You can build up a platform in no time. Go for it. He didn't at the first time, but after a year, he launched his company. He also gave credits to me and said, hey, you encouraged me to go this path. And these kind of stories we receive a lot. For you, it might be to finding a job. For the other one, it might be, I need to be motivated. One will be just going overseas, right? So that's why, I mean, the standpoint and the objective are always different. Hence, the objectives and the success rate is always different.
What would you tell people who are like him, who are telling you, Ekrem, I am facing maximum insecurities. I am fearing of doing something. How do you overcome insecurities?
Well, I mean, this is, of course, I mean, I have my spiritual part. Helps me a lot to calming down personally, and keeping control of my emotions, of my fear, of my excitement, of my whatever. And then once I'm cooled down, to have my family. And family means also to be in a different environment. For those who don't have a family or no family nearby, it's just changing the environment. Go just out of this toxic situation. Do sport, make workout, go for drink, go to a whatever, as long as you're just going out of this situation. And this will give you some distance to this. And this distance will help you to really analyze properly. And also, I mean, this distance gives you also, I mean, as I mentioned, the thankfulness. Because once you get a distance on your situation, you will be closer to other people's situation. And then you will see that there are people even in a worse situation than yours. And this will ultimately lead to, oh, wow, I mean, I'm complaining about my situation. God, look at this, look at that, right? So, and then this will also give you a little bit more to say, hey, I mean, this is a very small issue I had. Come on, I go and tackle it, right? So this is my method actually, right? And it with you as well, but yeah, maybe not. But at the end, you should maybe give it a try.
You have like your mentor, he teach you some things, you know. But after a while, are you going to get certificate, you know, which can be about like something you can show to the market, like I have this, I have, you know, I can make money out of this.
If you want, we could. We are asking you to put this on your LinkedIn profile. I'd say, but no one is taking care about certificates. I'm not sure if this is going to help you. The certificate is a piece of paper, right? So if the certificate says you are the best storytelling person on earth and you're not able to do storytelling, then the certificate is meaningless, right? So that's why, yeah, I know that for some companies, for some regions, for some universities, these certifications are important. So we can play the game and we can give you a certification. But the content, I mean, the personality, this is what it counts, the network you have. So because after a while, if you have a mentorship with 2, 3, 5 persons, you will go to your next potential employer and you will tell stories. You will say, hey, I mean, you are talking about AI, right? You're looking, yeah, my mentor, the Hannah from the US, said that the US automotive companies, together with Tesla, are using AI for da 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 da. Oh, yeah, and Ekrem, the other mentor I had is at Microsoft, he did da 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 da. You're telling stories from your mentorship because this is your network, this is your horizon. And this is even more worth than a certification, right? So because your personality changed, you are more confident. You are not like, hey, please give me a job. You're like, hey, if you're not hiring me, you're missing out something, right? So it's changing the game totally. That's why, I mean, use these programs also not just to get certification. Again, you will get it if you like, if you want, if it's required. But I mean, look at the outcome, right? So what am I doing out of this, right? I think this is more important.
Yeah, I would like to know, like, have some connection to the some mentor, have friendship with him. I think it's rough. It's rough
Absolutely.
a lot.
Please go. Yeah, please
Yeah,
go ahead
and but
and
after that,
sign up today or
yeah,
tomorrow.
but after that,
I think we have a long-term partnership with Afringa as well. I mean, with Victor, the founder.
yeah,
I know him for ages, so I think it's no issue for you guys as well to distribute this in your network. And yeah, I mean, as soon as you make, please do it, because we are running 3 men with universities, where we are having dedicated mentors for a period of 6 weeks, blocked for these programs. That's why it's a busy time at the moment, but the best time to apply, and hopefully we will get session scheduled straight afterwards.
The idea was about to have some mentor who can connect you to someone who really wants, someone who are passionate. Is
Absolutely.
the idea behind?
Yeah, and I'm just asking you to, this is best practice, never ever ask your mentor the first call for internships, for a job, for, I don't know, right? So build a relationship, and this relationship, because if I'm going to recommend you, Roger, to my company, I need to be really sure about it, right? So, and I need to know you better, right? So no one will immediately recommend you. That's why build a relationship. Don't be impatient. If you have an immediate issue, try to solve it with the advice of the people, not with the immediate help, right? So go the hard way by yourself. And you will see this method will lead to a higher success, because this will go into the friendship direction. And then if you really need a job, an internship, call your friend, not your mentor. You will call your friend. Hey, Hannah, we know us since 2 years because you're my mentor. Hey, can you help me? And then, of course, Roger, I mean, you're my best guy. Here you go.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Great advice on networking in today's world. Thank you. One, let's say, from my side, and last question, I don't know how the others are. You were, well, for a second talking about work testimonials or certificates, and you said they're not worth anything. So do you think if you are, I don't know, doing your internship in a huge company and you receive a good work testimonial, this is then later not really anything worth?
I don't believe in that too much, because did you ever read a negative testimonial? So it's anyway, oh, look at what my best guy was successful, it was great working with him and so on. And yeah, Roger was so successful. So everyone is celebrating each other's, right? So that's why it's I wouldn't say it's not important anymore, but it's devalued a little bit. Just imagine, Microsoft headhunted me, right? And once when I joined, a week later, the HR called me and said, hey, I just noted there's no CV in our system. Can you please upload the CV, because we just forget it. They never ever saw a CV of mine, right? The whole interview process, right? And this gives you an indicator, right? Today, your personality counts. And believe me, I'm also a hiring manager. No one is reading CVs. I'm looking into maybe a LinkedIn profile and said, wow, Roger, sounds interesting. Maybe I'm looking into the CV then particularly and said, yeah, come on, invite him for a call. And then we make a call. In corporates, it's different. That my advice would be, why? I mean, let's start there. Why you want to go to a corporate for an internship? Go to a startup. I mean, no point. In internship, you will learn nothing. It's just branding. It's just for your CV, right? So, sorry, guys. I mean, it's not cool as an intern at Microsoft and Google. Everyone knows that, right? So everyone knows you're doing it just for promotion purposes and publicity. Sometimes it works, but many times not, because everyone is doing internships in a cool, fancy environment. Take it serious. Take it honest. Go to a startup to learn and not to fine-tune your CV or your LinkedIn profile, right? So that's why my advice would be look for a boss and not for a job, right? Look for a startup where you look up to, where you can learn, where you can be impactful, where you can shape your personality, and then where you go to a corporate. Like myself, I was rejected about 15, 16 years ago. I was at a corporate at SAP, and since then I was in a startup, and now I jumped from the top into the Microsoft Corporation, right? So, and not like the middle manager and fighting through politics to go up the ladder. This is not fun, believe me.
But how did they headhunt you in this sense? I mean, sure, headhunting in the sense of they came to you and said, hey, we have a job for you, a vacancy for you. But how did they find out about you? How did they find out about, do you know that? Did they tell you how they had you on the radar, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you won't believe, but everyone is watching you. Google, LinkedIn, everyone is collecting data of you, and you have a footprint. You need to tell the world who you are and what to do in terms of business, right? So I'm active on LinkedIn, and I have a huge network, also not digital, but also a physical network. I'm talking a lot to people. I'm helping a lot of people. I'm giving advice to people, and this is my reputation after a while. So in the data award times, I signed a huge deal for Microsoft as a partner. So through the partner ecosystem, I was known in the Microsoft environment. Everyone was like talking about data award as a partner. And then some people ask, who's behind this company? Because this company is running from somewhere. And then they figured out, oh, there's a guy in Asia, in Singapore, running the shit, and he's good, right? And bum, you are on a short list of some people. So this should be the aim, that people asking you, not the other way around. Sure, I applied in my life many times to jobs, right? But changing the environment, just doing good things, talking to people, sharing your knowledge. And I have my cousin, she's making an internship in Turkey at the moment. She's first year student, completely clueless. And she's even not had a LinkedIn profile. I think the first thing before you start your internship, make a LinkedIn profile. Oh, what is this? Make it. So, and then you need to share something. Oh, what shall I share? And then I think about it. I said, my journey or my journey. Make a LinkedIn article out of this. Who cares? I mean, maybe other interns who started the first time will read it, right? But this is your first article, my first internship journey, right? So, and then your learnings, list down, oh, the first day I was so nervous, and then I learned this, and I learned that, and I did this, and I did that, right? Just share this, because yes, you have nothing more to share at the moment, but this, what you have, is valuable and very impactful. You never know who's going to read this. Maybe head of HR for interns of SAP will read this blog somewhere, right? So, and suddenly you are in the radar. This is how it works. I mean, everything you do, we are living in a sharing economy. Share it, use LinkedIn, not because it belongs to Microsoft, but this will completely replace the CV and the recruitment process going forward. Use it, like and comment and to share posts and blogs and so on and so forth, because you have something to tell. You have a talent. You don't know what your talent is, but this talent the world needs to know.
Thank you very much. I can also just underline what Ekrem just said. The importance of LinkedIn today is just immense.
Absolutely.
And I can relate in the sense of just, I know this call is about Ekrem, but just a couple of days ago, I received a job vacancy via LinkedIn out of nowhere. And that was why I asked you, Ekrem, how did I get on the radar of them? How did that work? I mean, I've never heard of them. How did they?
Yeah.
Myself, and now I understand, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah, cool.
Um,
Great. I mean, we totally overrun. I already rescheduled 2 other meetings, but it was great conversation. Hope you guys enjoyed, and everyone who's gonna watch the recording will also enjoy. Anytime, if you have any question, you find me on LinkedIn. Where else? You can add me. You can ask me anytime. Don't be shy. So we are also just normal people like you guys. So yeah, really happy to help out in the future.
Thank you, Ekrem. Thank you very much for all the opportunity you are offering, the opportunities with the mentorship. It was a great call. We enjoyed every second, and I really hope that some of you guys will sign up for their great offering. Roger, I think you want to say something, some last words.
Yeah, that was impressive. I really like it. So I'm gonna sign it right now, because yesterday I did check on this website.
Yeah, but you're on the right path already.
But yeah, I'm gonna sign it right now.
Looking forward for that. Thank you very much, and thank you, Luca, for inviting me and having me here. Looking forward for the conversations.
For sure. Well, thank you for sharing everything, and we don't want to keep you off any longer. We had a lot of time now, and thank you for being so open. And we wish you all the best for the near
Thank you.
future, and our future for sure. And yeah, just wanted to say thank you for everything.
Thank you too. Take care, guys.
Bye bye, Ekrem. Take care.
Bye.